forward to our time to talk today. So tell us what has, and I know you had that conversation with a property owner, but what has you be so juiced about jooshing?
Well, yes, property owners, realtors. Zhuzhing is a term that I came up with briefly in the fashion industry, the international fashion industry, when I was looking at my clients and thinking they need something to pull them together. They just you know, say, got that little something, and it was very successful. So zhuzhing became my thing. And then when I moved to beautiful Vancouver, BC, and went into mainstream interior design and did a lot of staging, home staging, I found that, you know, my clients would say, oh, I didn't realize my home looked so beautiful. And I thought, well, yeah, instead of the clients having to wait till they came to the point of sale, why did I not zhuzh their new spaces and make their home look as beautiful as it would be as they were living in it? And so voila, zhuzhing was born in Vancouver. And I am passionate about color. I have been passionate about color since I can remember, since I was tiny. So with the use of color strategically, at very little cost to the client, oftentimes using their own accessories, perhaps getting some home furnishings inexpensively, paint on the wall, zhuzhing their space. And of course, it's a win-win. They love it. It's much less expensive than spending thousands of dollars. And right from the beginning, they get to live in the space that they can be living in. It looks beautiful. So they get to enjoy it from day one. So this was miraculous, you know. So this is why I'm passionate about zhuzhing and color.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted to share with you this history I have with color and jooshing without even knowing what it was. I joint ventured the redevelopment of a large convention hotel in North Dakota with another developer out of North Carolina, and he was from North Carolina and I was from Texas, so we met in North Dakota to work on this project together. And large hotel, convention hotel, and it was in terrible condition. I mean, like terrible condition. The whole place was terrible in terms of physical condition and cleanliness in some places. And so when we met there, he brought in 5 people with him. One was an architect, and 3 people he flew from North Carolina were color people.
Right.
You know, that they were color experts. And so they went through the whole hotel. They found the colors for the North Dakota from the museum, the community center nearby, and they used those colors. And we had a 150-foot long wall that they drew lines on, which were mountains, but they were the lines. And then they took color palette and filled in a number inside that, which then proceeded to hire painters to paint by numbers this 150-foot long mural using the colors of North Dakota.
Oh.
Right? I thought he was crazy, you know. I thought, you want me to hire $10 an hour painters to go paint this wall here as you walk in the building? And we painted it, and people came from all over to look at it. It was like, it was amazing. And then and then later he bought a Russell bronze statue.
Oh yeah.
And put it into a parking lot on a pedestal. I thought, he is crazy. But we had people from all over the state come to look at it. So I turned from believing in numbers, in costs and contracts, and training employees, which is one of the things we do. And I switched to believing in there's a magic in color I don't have a clue about, but I believe in it, you know. So that's why one of the reasons I'm glad that you're on our summit here. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
I got converted.
Yes.
So how many countries have you visited, and you know, what difference have they made in your interior design, your thinking about process of jooshing?
Well, I've lived in a few countries. I've lived in Spain, I've lived in Jordan, of all places, and deserts are not all sand colored. There are a lot of beautiful, gorgeous, actually, desert flowers. But my main country of inspiration is Italy. My company is called Colore. An Italian woman, she said, not colore, colore. I said, my clients will be frightened off. So it's Italy. The colors in Italy are unique. The subtleties of the siennas, the burnt umbers are just absolutely exquisite. And they form the basis for the palette for a lot of work that I do because they're fundamental colors. And the passion in these Mediterranean countries is tangible. And as you said, it's the magic of color. It brings out, people come alive. Facts and figures are very, very necessary. But to make a space come alive, you need to have color, as much color as you can, done skillfully. You know, we can't all be color experts. We can't all be experts at at everything in life, obviously. But it does. It ups the energy. You know, it's a great mood up builder. So it's a very, very positive thing to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you're designing a new space, a whole new space, what's the difference between staging and designing a new space using color and jooshing? What's the difference?
So if it's a brand new place that the
Right.
buyer has just bought, well, I'd employ the same JOOSHING system. I'd find their unique style, find out what makes the homeowner tick. You know, what colors work for them. You know, look at their lifestyle. Look at what work they do, even. You know, and it's never you need to look at the big picture, but of course you also need to look at what the function of the rooms are in terms of if somebody wants to be relaxing in that room, then obviously one of my favorite colors are orange and reds, perhaps not a good idea, but it's very much always involve the client. So I never impose and then judge the colors to make them work for them. Yes.
And then why is it more cost effective to work with the client on staging their home and then designing the new home at the same time? To stage the new home, design the new layout, new home that they're moving into?
Because you're not recreating, because you already now have a very fundamental understanding of what makes them tick, what their likes and dislikes are, and slightly impositional, what I think will actually improve the way that it looks, you know, and they'll feel better about it.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I mean, that's if it's an investment property, it's another whole new ball game, obviously. But if it's just for them to live in, then it's finding something that suits their lifestyle, suits what they feel happy in. You know, so judging works basically at every level.
I got you. And then how does that benefit the sale of the property, benefit realtors? How does that work?
Well, because if they love, I mean, and I've always touched wood, been very lucky. They've always loved my clients, what they've done, and therefore, obviously, the realtor loves what I've done. And so you've got a client who's very happy. So when they buy or move into their new place, of course, they want it to be looking wonderful straight away. And it may involve some mainstream, you know, knocking down of walls, mainstream interior design, but often to begin with, it's helping them create their unique style within the new space. And of course the realtor is they love the realtor because the realtor has found the new house for them, the new property for them, and the designer is going to go in and make it livable. So everybody's happy in the equation.
Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome. I have a question. You talked about energy a while ago, that it lifts the energy and can you talk a little bit about that regarding not just a home, but for example, an office, or you know, what do you see that raising the energy, the mood would do in those situations?
Well, it depends on, again, defining the usage of the space. I tend to employ feng shui, which is the qi, the energy, finding exactly the feeling in that space. In an office, it's often important to not have your desk facing a door or a window. So you want the good energy, the good qi to be circulating. And color in offices is often as simple as having green plants in. It's that very organically healthy energy. And again, whatever the usage of the office is, if it's a bit busy sales department, then you want very calm colors, because the energy is already high, because it's rah 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 sales. So you want to keep that energy so that you feel your heart isn't racing. You're just, you've got that, okay, I can do this quietly and calmly energy. And then perhaps if it's more, perhaps if it's a drier subject, perhaps like accounting, perhaps you want a bit more inspiration. You'll have some art that maybe mimics, your favorite, scene. So you want it to be perhaps a little bit more uplifting, take it away from the figures. And it also connects us with your chakra, which is more on the spiritual side, but making sure your chakras are comfortable and working at a premium. So yes,
working at a premium. What do you mean, like
working so nothing's blocked. It's having this free flow feeling, and colors can create that. Colors are they just can create very specific atmospheres, and it's just it's the art is in finding the right balance of colors, and putting them together. And I mean, I just love doing it. I mean, I just love looking at the colors, and then when the client says, oh my gosh, yes, and it often is an immediate reaction. I can really feel that this is elevating, or yes, I need to calm down. I've just reached my target today, 1,000 sales, so calm down.
Yeah, I remember years ago we were remodeling our home in Dallas.
Yes.
Probably now 20 years ago, and my wife and we were remodeling for a big event. A lot of people coming in from around the country, real estate people I associate with from different states, and she said, I have a friend of mine who is an art dealer, and he's got some pictures of art. I'm gonna have him bring them over. And I said, okay. I wasn't gonna buy anything. I already knew them. And then he brings them over, and he lays it, he's opening them up, and he's showing it to us, and he's describing it. And they're almost all abstract in one way or another. They were just different rich colors and combinations of colors, and then some fabric on different materials, Mr. Medium, glued together. And it was just, and my wife asked, knowing I wasn't going to buy anything, she said, well, which one do you want to get? And I couldn't help myself. I said, well, we'll take that one and that one and that one and that one and that one. Oh, and that one. We're 6. She didn't think I wasn't going to buy anything, and they weren't like going to the Walmart and buying a painting, from an art dealer, So it was a pretty amazing. We still have that art today. We just move it with us one place to another.
That's incredible.
Just love looking at them. So it's inspirational.
Oh, it's so heartwarming, and it's a topic for discussion. It's just this, people come and say, oh my gosh, where did you get that? And I think it's great, or I mean, it needn't necessarily always be very positive, but it's conversation starters, and it engages people, and it's what you love, and it's lovely that you had the chance to actually then purchase. And, a dream come true. Hope it was a good price you got.
It was a decent price, but, I look back, and there's a recurring theme. When I was single many, many years ago, I was invited to go on a trip to Dallas, as a matter of fact, from when I lived in Kansas. And and went to the Dallas Museum of Art,
Oh, yes.
and they had the Armand Hammer collection coming through on the way to Los Angeles, and we went to that, and I was walking through it, and they were saying how great this piece was, and this piece, and this is a Lautrec, and this is a this and that, and then, and I was just like, oh, it was like, who cares? And then we came to this one painting. It was like, I think of it like 8 foot tall and 4 foot wide, and it was painted by Gustave Le Bon. No, that wasn't Gustave Le Bon. That was Moreau, Salome dancing before Herod. And the colors were so bold, and the gold was really gold, and they actually used gold flake. And I
Yes.
stood before that painting for about 30 minutes, and then I went and looked at some other things, and I came back and I stood for another 20, 30 minutes looking at it. It was like my whole relationship with art, not color, but art changed in that moment. And then later my relationship with color changed because of my developer friend.
Right.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, and it's magnetic, and it can be, and it's unique to, you know, every single person has their own particular something that they're passionate about, something that turns them on. And even though you say at that particular juncture it wasn't color, it was, because you already talked about the gold, and it wasn't just gold paint, it was gold leaf. The richness and the voluptuousness of the gold would have turned you on. And so that's turned that dial in you into appreciating color. You know, you perhaps weren't aware cognitively, but it is very much a below the surface thing, often color anyway. You know, we think we don't like one color, and then when we look into it, yes, we do. So it's so important. And I just feel that it's critical in the world of real estate for people to acknowledge color more, because it does make a big difference. It really does.
Well, and especially in this day when we're all going through issues, you know, worldwide, and
Yes.
something to inspire us is like not only luxury, it's like necessity. So,
exactly, yes.
So I've heard it said that you say that pink flamingos are important in your life. And why is that? I didn't even notice those. You got those behind you.
Let's flamingo. You know, Doug, I believe, or I should prelude this with the fact that my daughter, who lives in Toronto, said, "Mummy, no more pink flamingos, please," because, you know, I can't even do a flamingo count in my condo. I have a lot. But I believe everybody should have like a passion, maybe even slightly an obsession, but we should have something that makes us really, really happy, like collectors when they collect, like I'm collecting pink flamingos. But I absolutely love them because they're so exquisitely beautiful, and they're slightly different shades of pink, and they're so elegant. And so I've been, I suppose, collecting now for, I'm thinking, I can't even remember my first flamingo, but I think something like 5 years, something like, and they just pop up everywhere, and they become sort of part of who I am. Like every home should have a pink flamingo somewhere, you know, perhaps not overtly, but covertly. And actually I had a friend staying for a while. He's a Buddhist coach, you believe. Looks nothing like a Buddhist coach, but he is. And he said that he lived in Miami. He was doing branding there. And of course I said, pink flamingos, the colors in the pink flamingos, that would be heaven for me. So yeah, so they just make me crazily happy. In fact, just very briefly, I'm also passionate about dancing, and I came back, which is difficult in COVID times, but there was one student that was doing live dancing, and I came back and turned on the radio, and there was this lovely man who was writing a PhD in England on pink flamingos. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. He's writing a PhD. And yes, so it was just, so yes, it is. It can be, it sometimes needs to be curtailed a bit, but they are things of great beauty.
They're stalking you now. So.
Yes, exactly.
So how can people find out more about you and your what you do for people?
Oh, I would love to help people. Yes, of course, in any way. So my website is, I don't know whether you have the details, but it's Colore, C-O-L-O-R-E, interiordesign.com. And my email is COLOREID@yahoo.ca. And I'm also doing podcasts with another designer. So I will have that on my website and my email, but I don't actually have a title. We've been compiling them, which is very exciting.
We'll have that posted on the page that we're going to be running the show on, but give your email again. And
yes, indeed. It's COLOREID@yahoo.ca.
All right. So that's for Yahoo Canada, right? Yahoo.ca.
Yeah, that's for Canada, not .com.
I find it great that you have the color. Color is COLORE.
Italian for color. And then ID is short for interior design.
Oh, awesome.
Colore ID at Yahoo.
And I really, really, really thank you for coming. And I really would love at some point to see some of the things that you've designed. Do you have those on your website at all? And
yes.
Oh, awesome. So we will have this on the page, all about you and your your website address and how people can contact you. So I really thank you for coming and being here with us today. It's exciting to me. I didn't realize it when they booked you, but my color inspiration has now come back. So thanks to you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Chuck, so much.
All right. Thank you all. We'll be back with another show shortly. So stay tuned.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.